Hey, so I'm on my way to my oldest granddaughter's dance recital now. Tom had a nightmare last night. Probably dealing with all this shit that we did in the last couple weeks with the wills. It was very stressful for him. It was like I asked for a divorce, for fuck's sake, when all I wanted was, your kids aren't getting my dad's inheritance. All right? They just aren't. So that's why I did what I did. Is my initial investment into this house was all I had from my dad. Little less than slightly less than what my dad gave me for my inheritance. I say my dad, my parents. Because a joint tenancy situation with marital home means that if I die, Tom gets all the house. It goes to him. I've only been married to this man 4 years. My dad worked a lifetime to give each one of us kids what I put into the house. His little babies aren't getting it. And my kids shouldn't get his investment if he dies. His kids should get it. That's all I wanted, was to make sure. You can't go on the honor system. When you're dead, you're dead. Who's holding you accountable? Nobody. I can't say he'd do the right thing. His kids might push him. He might get dementia. His kids say, no, Dad, don't pay out their kids. How the fuck are they going to know? What are they going to do? Let them sue us. I'm sure that would never happen, and I don't know what my kids would do if it was reverse. You can't predict how people are going to react in grief. His kids don't mean shit to my kids, and my kids don't mean shit to his kids. It's not a relationship that we started 40 years ago, where they all grew up together and are buddies. It's not that situation. So, my doing this, in his eyes, meant I didn't trust him. Well, trust is an emotion. I'm not going to base my estate and what my dad gave to me on him doing the right thing. Because that's what a joint will is, and joint tenancy in a property is. He gets everything. He does not get my bank accounts and my investments. That's all been bequeathed to my children. They are my beneficiaries, as is his kids are his beneficiaries of his bank account and whatnot. Now, he was kind of concerned about all the interest he's paying with the mortgage and me dying in the first 5 years, as I explained. So, the ideal situation, if I died tomorrow, that he would somehow come up with the money to pay out my kids. And it would be 70-30, the way it is right now. Because he's paid a little more than I have at this point in the house. Not much at this point, but enough that we're doing it 70-30. And I'm okay if they lose a slight bit because interest, right? I'm okay with that. Now, if it's after the 5 years, no. Equity is building in the house, and so is my investment, and so it reverts to 60-40 after that. Now, if Tom dies, it's 60-40. I get, he said he's made me beneficiary of a life insurance policy so that I can pay his kids out if he dies tomorrow. And then I'll stay in the house as long as I can, by myself, and see how that goes. And my guess is I'd probably sell the house and you know, there's always the possibility that I keep it as a lake house and just rent. In Edmonton, like we do now, I could do that. Get a small condo or move right into the in-law suite or whatever in my son's place and make that official. You know, my in-laws from my first marriage have built an in-law suite in their house. They said I could go there if something happened to Tom. Like, you know, there's lots of possibilities. So everybody has to kind of work it out to what their situation is. I've been getting some questions. That's why I'm clarifying. So the ideal situation is to pay out your spouse's children if they should pass. That's my advice, if you can. If not, sell the house and pay them out immediately, and then reinvest into something else for yourself, you know? But we've set it up that you can stay in the house as long as you want, if you want to, and then pay the kids out when you sell. But then you're paying into a mortgage for how long? Building equity, and their investment just keeps growing off your dollar. You know what I mean? Now, in my situation, it's Tom's dollar because I get his pension. So that doesn't bother me, but it would bother Tom if he had to keep paying into a mortgage and then my kids benefit from it. So, you know, he'd buy them out as soon as he could. His parents are still alive, both sets of parents, his mom and dad, who have been divorced for years. They're still alive, so it's not like he wouldn't be able to pay out my kids eventually. You know what I'm saying? It's so ridiculous, and a lot of men on here have been giving me flack for this. But if I had married Tom 20 years ago and we'd been together 20 years, you know, this probably wouldn't be a thing, or 30 years or 40 years or whatever. But we've only been together 4 years. So that's why this needed to be done. Anyways, if you have any questions, let me know. So my ex from my first marriage is at my daughter's house where I'm heading right now. I think he's leaving today. I mean, we get along fine, but you know, I'd rather him have his time with the grandkids alone and not me there. So I think he's coming back and going to see the girls I saw yesterday, because they're both our grandkids, obviously, from our older kids that we had together. I think he's going to see the girls that I spent the day with today. And so I am flipping, and I'm going to see our daughter's cousins. So he's going to see my son's kids, and I'm going to see our daughter's kids. So, divorce, eh? But that's the thing. This is becoming more and more common that people my age are remarrying and buying properties together. And the adult kids are going, what the fuck? You know? You know, what happens to us when you die? And it's my responsibility to look after my estate and make sure that it's designated the way I want it to be. It's not Tom's responsibility to look after my estate with my kids. So hopefully we both have the means to pay each other's kids out if something should happen to us. And if we both die together, it's 60-40 split. Both our kids get paid out. And that would be tragic, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be tragic? Anyways, people, if you have any questions, let me know. But if you're in this situation and you've got it set up as joint wills and your joint tenancy property is going to your spouse, is that really what you want for your kids? To have to fight over their portion? I know somebody that they didn't do this, and he owned the house before she even moved in. And they were together 15 years or something. And then when he died, his kids got nothing from the house. Nothing. Her kids are going to get it when she dies. That's not right, man. That's not right. So, me seeing all this, and, you know, Tom's parents are divorced with kids from both sides, they're going to have some issues. You watch. It's not going to be pretty. Peace out, motherfuckers.